Welcome. You're now locked into the pushback on Power 96.5 FM and WUFO Mix 1080 AM, home of the Tom Jordan Morning Show. For the next half hour, we're here to raise awareness of issues plaguing our community, and we'll be speaking the people's truth to power. Now, tonight's topic is especially important. Winter's coming in Buffalo. A lot of people see rising bills, a lot of discomfort, health issues, and we're here to talk about fighting that. So we have very special guests, Jason Kulaszewski, who is the Clean Energy Coordinator for UB's Regional Institute, where he runs the UBRI Clean Energy Communities Initiative. We also have with us a well-known Latina community activist, Velez, who's been heavily involved with NYRenews most recently. Also campaigns around the PSC, National Grid, National Fuel, grassroots economic justice initiatives. So we'd like if you could to introduce yourselves briefly.
Sure, yeah. So I think you did a great job. My name is Jason Kulaszewski. I'm the Clean Energy Coordinator for UBRI. We work with municipalities to take actions against climate change to really make communities more sustainable.
Nice.
And there's a lot of different initiatives kind of picked up from the work that you guys are doing at Push and taking it to the next level, working with municipalities to take energy-saving steps to make communities more sustainable.
That's fantastic. And Ms. Velez.
Hello everyone, buenas tardes. I'm a community activist, soy una activista de la comunidad, and I came out of retirement because there were a lot of things going wrong in our community and we needed to make a change. Salí de retiro para ayudar a la comunidad a reconocer los recursos que hay en la comunidad por medio de Push, via Push Buffalo. Thank you.
Also got to give a shout out to our producer, Lonnie B.
Hey, how's everybody doing tonight?
He'll be giving the gentrification report. I know y'all missed that last week. We got a lot to catch up on, and none of the good news is particularly good news. I'd also like to invite our listeners to call in. The number to the station is 716-837-1112. Again, that's 716-837-1112. Now, I'd like to start, actually, I sent out some questions, but I think we should just jump into the heart of this. With Ms. Velez, briefly, what led you in the first place into doing this kind of activism?
It turns out that I was going through a hard time. My house was cold. I didn't realize I didn't have insulation. It was an old stock house, and I was a single mom, and it just so happens that it was just falling apart around me, and I didn't know what to do. And someone came knocking on my door, and it just so happened to be an activist from Push.
Okay.
And that led me into finding out what services that I qualified for. And that's really important for our community to understand. Que hay servicio. There are services that you can qualify for and get the help that you need.
Beautiful. And Mr. Kulaszewski.
So my engagement in energy-related work also stemmed from the work happening at Push Buffalo. When I came on to Push Green in 2013, my eyes really got open to how rough the housing situation really is in the city of Buffalo, and how, you know, those high bills that you were talking about really have such a huge impact on people's lives every day and force them to make decisions that no one should have to make. And so it was really important for me to be able to try to make some kind of impact and help folks out to make energy improvements in their lives, in their homes that are such, that's an asset for everyone. And I think Luz's story is really a testament to some of the work that that's happening through Push every day.
Nice. Beautiful. That is great work. Lonnie, are you ready for the gentrification report?
Yes. What kind of bad news we got today? So this one I like to call it gentrification by clean energy.
Wow.
So I'm going to be reading from an article real quick that was printed in the Buffalo News. It's dated October 30th. And it talks about this gentleman, Ward Thomas. He's the CEO of Sentient Science. He wants to renovate a former house or a church, really, on Richmond Avenue in Buffalo. This church used to be Emmanuel Temple a few years ago. And I mean, on the surface, it sounds good, but I'm just, I'll let the article speaks for itself and report on it. So, quoted from the Buffalo News, Thomas wants to demonstrate to his growing workforce just how affordable Buffalo's real estate can be. Sentient, a technology company that Thomas moved to Buffalo from Idaho, employs 40 here, but expects to add at least 60 jobs locally. Many of those workers are likely to come from out of town, he said. Quoted, I really want to be able to say that these families moved to Buffalo. To say to these families, move to Buffalo, said Thomas, who moved here with his family from San Francisco. You can buy a small condo in California, or you can buy a beautiful property in Buffalo, excuse me, and you can make a lot of money in real estate from that.
Wow.
So, I don't want to preach to the choir, but give me 1 second here.
That's incredible.
Just to go into the other part of my report. So basically, we'll call this corporate clean energy gentrification. This house or mansion temple he's renovating that will have solar and other clean energy features, an urban garden, and free electric charging stations for people who have electric cars is a good thing, but for all the wrong reasons. He's promoting cheap, clean energy for big businesses so that corporations and investors from places like San Francisco can move here to my city where the property is quote-unquote cheap. To buy it all up, they're even promoting the hiring of mostly employees from out of town so that no one in my city will actually benefit from this. And the state government is even investing in us. If you read further down into the article, and we have this, we'll post this to the link of this video, but continuing on, he's promoting cheap, clean energy for big businesses so that corporations and investors from places like San Francisco can move here to my city where the property is cheap to buy it all up. They're promoting the hiring of mostly employees from out of town so that no one in my city will actually benefit from this. And the state government is even investing black and white tax dollars into this.
Wow.
They've even got the Democratic senator from New York City in on the act, Senator Chuck Schumer. But if you read down into the article, it talks about that. But I wanted to report on this because a lot of the work that Push does is grassroots work around energy.
Yeah.
And we talk so much about creating local jobs.
Right.
Local jobs. A lot of times when these narratives come out, I'm not saying there's a big thing wrong with them, but a lot of the narrative that's been coming out by, the dominant society, big corporations, or, the people in power, the powers that be, is that we need people to move here to make Buffalo better.
Oh my goodness.
There's never a conversation on what do we do with the people here. And we know that
exactly.
Buffalo is one of the, it's in the top 5 poorest cities. But yeah, that's my report for today. I just wanted to point this out. And the title of the article is it's called CEO to Turn Former Richmond Avenue Temple into Clean Energy Home. And you can find this on the Buffalo News website.
Wow. And that's so misleading to say clean energy home and not read the whole article. You might think he was just like Sister Velez, who decided to insulate and go green. It doesn't tell you he's planning to knock some more jobs out of the box. It's incredible. Thank you so much.
Importing jobs when we have people here who are hungry for work is really sad.
It's even sadder when the politicians stand behind it.
Right.
I'm not with that Senator Schumer deciding that he's going to stand for it. I'm not for it when our Governor Cuomo, and Mayor Brown, and even the Common Council, when they decide that, we're trying to do a just transition, which means we're trying to bring money here, we're trying to keep jobs here, we're trying to keep a local economy going, and then you're lining the pockets of a lot of these developers. This money should be coming in to help stabilize the housing in Buffalo.
Yes.
It's for the poor people, it's for the people who qualify, not for these rich people coming from out of town. Okay?
Right.
We got people here who have been unemployed for years looking for jobs.
Right. Well, I would venture to guess that he could probably afford to install all of this clean energy without any help from our tax dollars.
Exactly.
All right, now speaking of tax dollars, Mr. Kulaszewski, you're doing some very important work. There are some things that people have fought against happening in Buffalo. I'll just throw out one term and maybe you can break it down for us. PACE financing.
Right. So, PACE financing is a huge opportunity for folks in Western New York, mainly business owners who own property, right? So you could do a clean energy. It's basically a financing mechanism that allows business owners to leverage the equity that they have in their building, if they're a building owner, to use that equity in their property to do energy efficiency measures in their building or install solar, electric, or renewables into their building without really having to pay out of their pocket, right? To take away from their bottom line of their business and allow them to make improvements to their building, leveraging this financing and the payback mechanism. It comes through when they pay their property taxes. So
Now, I'm sorry, what does PACE actually stand for?
Property assessed clean energy, I believe.
So it sounds just like what it is.
Exactly. You get to use the value of your property to pay for a clean energy project at your building. And currently in Erie County, we don't have this financing. It's one of the program I work in. There's 10 high impact actions, and adopting PACE financing is one of them. So places in like City of Buffalo, Erie County, they can actually adopt this financing to make small businesses, to allow them to have access to this equity so that they can do a clean energy project at their building, but we currently don't have this.
Wow.
You know, you always hear like, small business is the backbone of our economy, right? But when these small businesses need to access, you know, the capital that they have into their business, and our elected officials aren't really getting on board with helping them access that. That's just a piece of the work I'm trying to do in my position with the Regional Institute, is to really encourage City of Buffalo and Erie County to really consider this, because it could have a large economic boom for, you know, local businesses where they can do projects at their building that would employ local people. You know what I mean? Put local people to work, making our community better, instead of having, like Lonnie said, you know, we got investors coming in from out of town and across the country to try to make our community better, when we have all the tools that we need right here. It's just being able to access them and use them to empower the folks who are already here, rather than moving them in from wherever else across the country.
San Francisco. Now, I've been getting a little excited. One of the employees at Push Green has taken part in Solarized Tonawanda. Just from what he told me, it sounds fantastic. Similar to the PACE financing, I think, in terms of having a moderate, I guess, low to moderate income person do the solar. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, so the Tonawanda program is actually pretty unique in the fact that they made a conscious decision within their decision-making team to leverage some of their community development block grant money.
Wow.
They set aside a pot of $200,000 to help low-income homeowners access solar energy through the Solarize campaign. The way Solarize works is you get discounted pricing. It's a short-term campaign, and homeowners buy solar panels at this discounted price to install them at their home. Well, the town of Tonawanda knew that this wasn't going to work for everybody, so they put aside this pot of money to help the low-income folks in their community be able to have the same access to clean energy as folks who are middle income or upper income, right? So that everybody can participate, and it's a really inclusive program there. And I know that Push Green has played a part in helping get the word out to folks.
We're trying our best, man.
Thank you, because it takes a village to you know, educate people about energy efficiency and renewables, and just, you know, what's out there, what's available, and how to get access to it. So, you know, I really see our work that I'm doing at the Regional Institute that's complementary to what's happening at Push Green, as far as energy efficiency and making sure that it's out there and available for everyone. So, you know, I appreciate you bringing that up, but I also want to thank you for, you know, participating and help getting the word out so that folks can access that money. They know it's there and they can take advantage of it.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you. Now that seems like a perfect time if we could hear a little bit from Ms. Velez, NYRenews. That's something else people need to know about.
Definitely. I think one of the things that I want to, you know, piggyback on what Jay's saying is that, you know, Tonawanda put aside some money, okay? But where we're looking to get money from is from these big corporations that have been violating, okay, and dirtying up the environment. And the big corporations need to pay.
Right.
They owe the community for polluting the community. So there needs to be a pot, and there will be a pot.
All right.
You know, by way of NYRenews, and we want to make sure that the governor and, like I said, the mayor and the common council realize that if money's coming and it's going to filter down from New York State, it's going to filter down to Buffalo. It better filter down to the people who need it.
Right.
And we're talking about jobs with livable wages from our community, not from San Francisco or any other place, okay? I want to make sure that they know that, it's available for everybody. I do a lot in trying to let the Latino community, que la comunidad latina sepa que hay recursos, hay dinero para arreglar su casa si cualifica. There is money if you qualify. NYRenews is a movement. It's a grassroots movement. That means anybody can do it, okay? We come together as people, okay? You don't have to be a bigwig. I'm not no bigwig. I'm just some old lady that got caught up in not being able to prevent myself from freezing to death, actually. So, with the help of Jay, because Jay was on board with this, and Marty, and a lot of good people, even you, who did my assessment, Lou, and I'm very grateful. We know what we need in this community.
Yes.
We live here. We know what we need. I'm sick and tired of all these people coming in and deciding that they're going to know what's best for us and what we need to have done and how much money they're going to allocate. NYRenews is going to have its pot, and it's going to be for New York State, and we're going to make sure that it's allocated and administered the way it's supposed to. Even if I got to sit down in Common Council and they engrave a seat with my name every day, I will be there. I will be there.
Oh, we thank you so much for that. So much. I think maybe people get intimidated. They think, well, I'm not I haven't read the latest books on policy. You got a voice?
Yeah.
That's right.
That's people power.
That's
and
right.
that's what we're about right here. I appreciate that so much. Now, I did want to make sure and let people know the number to call in, 716-837-1112. We'd love to hear from you. Call in. And then also, I wanted to make sure and find out, Lou's brought up a little bit, what is the biggest challenge in your work? You want to start, Ms. Velez?
I think the biggest challenge is letting people know that, you know what, you can rally, you can demonstrate. You know what, like you said, people is the power,
Yes.
okay? And we need to let people know, Latinos from the west side, the east side, okay? The east side, but all of Buffalo, okay? And it doesn't matter. You know what, we'll find out what where your expertise is, and we will filter you in to where you need to, promote what we need to see happening in our community, and you're telling us, and that's where the big people power is, and that's why it's a movement. It's a grassroots movement. We want to make sure that people understand that you don't have to be a big old leader. I'm not a big old leader. I just got a big old mouth, and I don't care. I have no fear in using it. I have no fear in calling whoever needs to be called out. Okay? So we want to let people know, la comunidad hispana, que estamos aquí preparando para los impactos de esto en la comunidad y en el clima. What we're doing this for also is for people to understand that, this affects our climate. Okay,
Yes.
we already know what happened in Texas and Florida,
Oh, my goodness,
poor Puerto
yes.
Rico, and even in Bermudas. Not Bermuda. Bermuda got affected. Bermudas was a whole country that had to be evacuated. Okay,
Oh,
so
my.
look at what's happening there. Look at what happens in Buffalo. Okay, there are times now where it's been really, really warm, but we know cold is coming. Okay, and it's going to be hard. So these programs are here. We're fighting for them. We're fighting for the money so that people who qualify can get them. And I just want people to understand, estamos aquí, estamos luchando, but we need other people. It can't be the same old faces all the time.
Yes.
I'm tired of the same old faces.
Yeah.
We got a lot of people. Let's get out here.
That's right.
Thank you. Mr. Kulaszewski.
The hardest part of my work actually comes from what Luz was just talking about.
Oh.
People who deny that climate change is happening.
Oh, no.
Right? Because I'm out there working with municipalities, so elected officials who get pressure from climate deniers, right? And so they don't feel like they are empowered to take action, or they don't really maybe believe that there's a need to take action, even though the science proves over and over again
Oh,
that
my.
climate change is real and it affects us all. And even to the point of, even if you don't believe the science, there's still benefits in taking steps to make your community more sustainable.
Right.
From, you know, saving tax dollars that you would spend on energy
Yes.
and being able to invest that in the people of your community rather than wasting it on inefficient buildings and things like that, right? Like there's benefits beyond the environmental side. Even if you don't believe in that, you should, you know, you probably like money.
Ms. Velez.
Yes, I just want to make sure that people understand that anybody can be a part of this, okay? And I want to make sure that people keep the idea of the polluter fund. New York State Renews. Make sure you recognize. Talk to your governor. Let everybody know that we're here and we're not going to stop. We're not going to stop until we get what we need. You can find me on Facebook under Luz Velez. If Miss Daisy answers, that's okay, because, you know, Miss Daisy has a lot to say with regard to it. And if you want to call me, that's fine. 716-392-5483. I don't answer the kooks, okay? I will hang up. I have no problems. I got dogs. My dogs are all around me, okay? So I want everybody to know, don't mess with me, okay? I'm here to help, okay?
So it's called the Polluter Fund?
It's
That's
called the
particular
Polluter Fund.
initiative?
Yes, via New York State Renews. And that's what we're looking to keep an eye on and make sure that when it comes to the state, it comes to the city, it comes to the people, not to the developers,
Gotcha.
not to the bigwigs.
Absolutely. Oh, that's a good point. I think along the lines of what our gentrification report was saying, it could be real easy to see this funding coming, and someone like our friend from Frisco saying, you should give me this money because look how many solar panels your tax dollars paid for to put on my roof.
Yeah.
We don't need more of that.
But I can't get it.
40 jobs
Okay.
from out of state.
40 jobs from out of state.
Okay, my people can't get work. Okay.
So much good
Okay.
information. So much good information. New York Renews, information about that you can find on our Push Green social media. We try to keep a lot of information up about New York Renews as the time has been going by. And then events that Mr. Kulaszewski has been involved with. We've also been sharing those. So keep